Morning had already broken. Wine moved quickly around the kitchen, cooking in rush. She had too many tasks lined up for the day, and in trying to do them all at once, she had ended up falling behind on breakfast. She completely forgot what time it was. Jungkook should be awake by now. She whipped her hands on her apron and hurried toward the staircase to call him, only to stop in her tracks. There he was. Jungkook was already coming down the stairs, dressed in his formal shirt, sleeves buttoned, hair neatly combed, reading something on his tablet as he descended. He didn't look at her. He said nothing, just walked past and sat down at the dining table. Without a word, Wine quickly finished the cooking and served his breakfast. Jungkook began eating silently, not a comment, not even a glance. Wine joined him at the table, the quiet between them louder than words. Once the meal was done, he looked up at her. Jungkook, I'm leaving now, or are you coming with me? Wine, you go ahead, I will leave in a little while. Jungkook, don't be late, he said flatly. With that, Jungkook walked out the door. Wine rushed to get ready, grabbed her bag, and left for the office. By the time she arrived, the office was already humming with activity. Everyone was immersed in their work. Wine realized she was late, just by a few minutes, but late nonetheless. She hurried straight to Jungkook's cabin. Jungkook, you're late, Mrs. Jeon, he said with tone professional, his expression unreadable. Wine, sorry sir, it won't happen again. No one at the office knew that Wine and Jungkook were married. To the rest of the world, she was just his personal assistant. Their marriage had been an accident, an unexpected twist of fate that forced them together. But neither of them had considered divorce. Jungkook had once told her quietly but firmly, everything will fall into place eventually. He glanced at his schedule. Jungkook, tell me which time slots I have meeting today. Wine nodded and began listing them one by one, her voice steady, her demeanor professional. Jungkook, all right, he said once she finished. Contact Mr. Kim. We are planning to launch a new product and need to begin discussion with him. Wine, yes, sir, she replied, and with that, another day of complicated silence began, where duty masked emotion, and every word spoken hid what remained unspoken between them. A little later, Wine stood near Jungkook's desk, clipboard in hand, her expression calm and composed. Wine, sir, Mr. Kim has agreed to meet with you tomorrow, she said. Jungkook nodded without looking up. Jungkook, all right, that's good. When lunchtime arrived, Wine walked to the office canteen. She picked up a tray and settled down at a quiet table, her thoughts still tangled in schedules and meetings. But then, from the table behind her, hushed voice floated into her ears, sharp and uninvited. Girl 1, did you hear about Mr. Jeon? Girl 2, no, what happened? I know nothing. Girl 3, seriously? Everyone's talking about it except you. Girl 2, what? Tell me. Girl 1, rumor has it he had lunch with Miss Bella yesterday and apparently they went somewhere together afterward. Girl 3, they actually look really good together. If they become a couple, they would be perfect. Wine froze, spoon halfway to her mouth. Her heart skipped. A strange storm began to stir inside her, one she could not name. Jealousy, hurt, confusion. She wasn't sure. She just sat there silent, finishing her lunch without tasting a bite. Later, she walked to Jungkook's cabin. She paused for a moment, then knocked. Jungkook, come in. His voice replied from inside. Wine opened the door and stepped in. Jungkook was seated at his desk, typing something intently. On the sofa nearby, Miss Bella sat gracefully, leg crossed, a confident smile on her face. Wine felt a strange jolt in her chest, but kept her expression natural. Bella, ah, Jan, come sit, she said pleasantly. Wine offered a faint smile. Wine, I'm fine here, ma'am. The rest of the day passed slowly. When evening came, Jungkook and Wine left the office together and drove home in silence. Not a single word passed between them, but the voice from the canteen echoed in Wine's head over and over again. At home, Wine quickly prepared dinner while Jungkook went straight to the study. He had more work to finish, and she didn't disturb him. Later that night, Wine stepped into their bedroom. Jungkook was there, still at his desk, but he had dozed off, head resting slightly to the side. His laptop remained open, the screen still glowing. She stood there for a moment, just watching. He looks like a child when he sleeps, she thought, a small reluctant smile forming on her lips. She took a careful step closer, but just then his phone buzzed loudly with an incoming call. The vibration woke him. He blinked, and as his vision cleared, he realized how close Wine was. Their eyes met. A blush crept across Jungkook's face, spreading to his ears. He looked away. Jungkook, what? What are you doing here? He asked awkwardly. Wine quickly stepped back, flustered. Wine, I came to tell you that dinner is ready. Jungkook, oh, okay, I will come in a bit, he said, still trying to mask the embarrassment in his voice. Without another word, Wine turned and walked to the dining room. She set the dishes out neatly, each plate arranged with quiet care, and in that silence the distance between them lingered, unspoken, fragile, and full of things neither dared to name. Night fell silently over the city. Jungkook and Wine lay in bed. He had fallen asleep almost as soon as his head touched the pillow, his breath steady and calm, but Wine's eyes remained wide open, staring into the dark void of the ceiling. Thoughts raced each other in endless circles inside her mind. One point of view, Bella, she was Jungkook's college friend. They studied together, now they work together. She is smart, confident, beautiful. Everyone said they make a perfect pair. That line repeated in her head like a curse she could not erase. Suddenly, a dull itch stirred in her chest, light, almost ignorable. She paused for a moment, her brows knitting, but it passed, not strong enough to raise alarm. Gradually, exhaustion claimed her and she drifted into sleep. The next morning, the day began early. Wine and Jungkook arrived at the office together, both silently bracing for what was to be an extremely hectic day. Between product launches and critical meeting, there was no space for error. As soon as they walked in, Jungkook headed to his cabin, Wine following close behind. Jungkook, there is important data on this pen drive, he said, handing it to her. Mr. Kim will be here shortly. Make sure everything's ready in the meeting room. Wine nodded, took the drive and hurried off to prepare. She arranged the materials, connected the projector and organized the documents. Somewhere between tasks, she set the pen drive on the corner of the table, just for a moment. Unnoticed, her elbow brushed it. The pen drive fell to the floor and rolled quietly beneath the cabinet. She didn't see it. Moments later, the meeting began. The presentation was going smoothly. Discussion flowed, charts were reviewed, and strategic plan outlined. Then Mr. Kim asked, Mr. Kim, can I take a look at the project sample files? Jungkook turned to Wine. Jungkook, the pen drive, please. Wine blinked, then began searching her folder. It wasn't there. Her fingers trembled slightly as she checked again. Her bag, her notes, the laptop case, still nothing. Everyone in the room turned to look at her. Silence thickened. Wine, I had it, she stammered. It was right here. I am still looking, sir. Jungkook's face hardened. Jungkook, I gave it to you this morning. Where it is? Wine's heart raced. Her palms are sweating. She dropped to the floor, checking under the chair and behind the desk. Mr. Kim's expression grew stiff. Mr. Kim, Perhaps we should reschedule. Jungkook, please wait a moment, he said, trying to remain composed. Finally, after frantic searching, one spotted the pendrive locked in the corner near the leg of the cabinet. She snatched it up and handed it to Jungkook, breathless. The rest of the meeting went well. On the surface, the product launch was approved. Everyone left satisfied. Everyone but Jungkook. The air inside the car was heavy. Jungkook, how could you be so careless? He finally said, his voice cold but controlled. Wine, I'm sorry, it won't happen again, she replied softly. Jungkook, do you even realize how tense this situation was? If that meeting hadn't gone well, we could have lost the entire project. Do you understand how serious this was? Wine simply nodded, staring out of the window. Her throat tightened with every word. A burning itch was growing in her chest again, but she said nothing. She just listened. When they arrived home, Jungkook walked in silently. Wine followed. Neither spoke. Jungkook went straight to their room, loosening his tie in front of the mirror. Wine stopped in behind him, trying to hold herself steady. The pain in her chest was no longer a dull itch. It was sharp, crushing. She clutched her chest, her breath catching. Suddenly her knees buckled. Jungkook, Wine. He turned just in time to see her collapsing. He cocked her before she hit the floor. Her eyes were closed, face pale. Jungkook, Wine, wake up, he shouted, panic seizing his voice. He splashed water on her face, gently slapped her cheeks, but there was no response. His heart thundered in his ear. Without wasting another second, he scooped her into his arm and rushed to the car. His hands were shaking as he drove, waving through traffic, desperate to reach the hospital in time. Jungkook, please be okay, he whispered over and over. The hospital was a blur of white lights, Jungkook's footsteps, and quiet urgency as soon as they arrived. Doctor whisked Wine away into an emergency room, responding quickly to the panic in his voice and the paleness of Wine's face. Jungkook stood frozen in the hallway. His heart was pounding, his breath slow. He could not think, could not pray. He could not only wait. After what felt like an eternity, a doctor finally emerged. Jungkook rushed forward. Jungkook, doctor, what happened? Is she okay? The doctor looked at him with calm but firm eyes. Doctor, you should have been more careful with her. Jungkook blinked. Jungkook, I don't understand. She seemed completely normal. Doctor, she has a very weak heart. Even small amount of stress or emotional strain can cause pain. You didn't know? Doctor shook his head, stunned. Jungkook, no, I had no idea. Doctor, you are her husband. You should know these things, the doctor said almost reproachfully. Doctor, she is stable now, but don't push her. No more pressure. Everything else is fine. There is no need to panic, but she needs care. A wave of relief washed over Jungkook as he closed his eyes and sighed deeply. Jungkook, thank God. He took Wine home later that day. Back home, silence hung thick in the air. Jungkook tried to make conversation, tried to ease the tension, but Wine wasn't speaking. Her eyes was distant, her face unreadable. Then finally, her voice broke through the quiet. Wine, I think we should get a divorce. Jungkook's heart stopped. Jungkook, what? He whispered, his hands turning cold. Wine, what are you saying? Divorce? Why? Wine, there is no love left between us, she said calmly, almost detached. And maybe what people say is true. Jungkook, what people? What are you talking about? He asked, his voice trembling now. And I'm not signing any divorce papers. Wine, we don't look right together. You and I, we don't match. You look good with Bella. Her words landed like stones, but Jungkook just looked at her, and then unexpectedly he smiled. So this is what it's about. Wayne blinked, confused. Jungkook, you are jealous, he said, laughing lightly. You think something's going on between me and Bella? Wayne, you go out with her, have lunch, dinner, plan things. It's obvious. Her voice was defensive, pain, but Jungkook's laughter only deepened. Wyan, there is nothing funny about this, she snapped. I want a divorce. He raised his hand gently. Jungkook, okay, I wasn't going to say this yet, but maybe now I have to. He looked into her eyes, serious now. Jungkook, I have been planning to propose you properly, something beautiful, and I had no idea how to do it, so I asked Bella to help. One stared at him, speechless. Her heart started to race. Jungkook, we are just trying to figure out where, how, what you would like, a restaurant, a rooftop, something meaningful. That's why we met, that's why we talked. Her face slowly began to change. The piece started falling into place. The misunderstanding, the jealousy, the doubt, all of it seemed absurd now. Her cheeks flushed red with embarrassment. Wyan, I can't believe, she whispered, unable to finish. Jungkook laughed again. Jungkook, you should have seen your face. Wyan turned away, shy and ashamed, her cheeks still burning. She could not look at him. Jungkook, I was going to surprise you, but then all this happened, and seeing you like that, unconscious, his voice fluttered. I was terrified. Wyan looked at him. Jungkook, you didn't tell me your heart was so weak. Why didn't you say anything? Wyan, I didn't think it mattered. She replied softly. Jungkook, well, it's mattered to me, he said, pulling her gently into his arms. I can't lose you. Her heart pounded against his chest. Jungkook, I love you, he whispered. Please don't ever leave me. There was a long pause. The room stood still. Then Wyan finally said it. Wyan, I love you too. He pulled back slightly and looked into her eyes. Jungkook, really? Wyan nodded, smiling blushfully. Wyan, really? He cupped her cheeks, leaned in and kissed her gently. She kissed him back, this time without fear, without hesitation. He smiled against her lips. Jungkook, now promise me you won't talk about divorce again. If you do, I will have to punish you. One raised an eyebrow. Wyan, punish me? He kissed her again, deeper this time, pulling her closer. Slowly he began unbuttoning her dress. She gasped slightly, blushing fiercely. Her face turned crimson. He kissed her again, more tenderly. Later that night, they lay together beneath the soft warmth of a shared blanket, limbs intertwined. Jungkook gently brushed a lock of hair from Wyan's forehead. Jungkook, I love you, he said once more. Wyan smiled sleepily. Wyan, love you too. He kissed her forehead, and they stayed that way, talking softly, holding each other, until sleep gently claimed them both.